that's kind of really the bread and butter behind our system. Is unfortunately the days of if you're going to be hacked are kind of out the window, and it's kind of when and can you weather the storm once it hits you. Unfortunately, putting a piece of paper and putting it in your pants, and unless someone stole your pants was a secure way, that's kind of gone now. So there's a bunch of information that I'll kind of cover in there and that I'll briefly show you in the demo, but those are for you to kind of hold on and just look through as we're going through here. So PTG was founded back in 2006. We're based in Boston. We have 110 clients in 10 different states, all of which are in the public sector. Everyone that works for our firm has either been an executive director for a retirement board, has been a public employee, or an administrator. So they understand the needs, the pain points, and kind of how to grow as a pension system grows as well. Not only from county demands, but also from member demands as well. The other unique thing about our firm is that all of our development team have been working together for over 15, 20 years. They've done over 150 conversions, which is kind of unheard of in the development world. Sometimes developers will jump from job to job. They've all been together and have worked together for a long time. The other key differentiator about our company is that the individuals that would be doing your conversion, your development, and your implementation are also going to be your support team. Now, that could be a misconception to some people, but it's really not, because why would 2 years down the road, a year down the road, if something happens with your system and you need something, now you're going to have to explain yourself all to a support team again about what happened during the conversion. Our people will know exactly what happened, because those are the people that you're going to ask questions about during the conversion process that are going to help you with those problems and know exactly what you're talking about when something, if something does go wrong. So to have that kind of support, all of our clients love to see that, because they know the people that they're talking to are the same people they're going to talk to day in and day out.
What is your position, Stefan?
So I'm the director of Northeast Markets. I basically handle everything with all of our client relations. We're based in Boston, but I'm down in Pennsylvania at least 3 to 4 days every month. Driving around, talking to, we actually have York County and Westmoreland as clients of ours. York County is literally a signature away from having their live system. They're actually going through a conversion for an ERP system, which has taken up a lot of their time. So we're just simply waiting for them to kind of give them their system. Westmoreland is going to be shortly behind them, both of which are going to be doing retiree payroll with us, issuing 1099. So they're getting our full-blown system. And what we're trying to do here in Pennsylvania is replicate the success that we've had in Massachusetts and in other states. Massachusetts has 103 contributory systems. We supply software to 89 of them. And what we're looking to do here in Pennsylvania is replicate that success, because in Massachusetts they have what's called Chapter 32, which is their pension law. We understand that you guys also have Act 96, which operates very similar. And we want to be able to blanket our system and provide all the counties a system, because you all have to track the same information. The only differences are some are doing it on older antiquated software systems, some are doing it on Excel sheets, some even still do it on 4x6 index cards. So we're just trying to bring people up to speed and kind of give them a solution that when they go to work every day, they don't have to worry about updating their servers or updating the software. You're never going to get an email from us saying you need to update the software. You're never going to get an email from us saying, well, you need a new server. Why? Because we take care of all that for you. We monitor and track all your data 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. We employ a company out of Texas called Rackspace, and that's where you'll see a lot of the information in there. We've been with them since day one, mainly because they're probably one of the world's #1 cloud service provider. And since we've been with them, we have always had 2 sets of servers. We have a set of servers in Texas, and we also have another set of servers in Chicago. And every 4 hours, there's co-location redundancy. So in the event of a disaster recovery situation, at most, you would lose 4 hours worth of work. And so every 4 hours, the servers back each other up. We also employ a product called ActiveWatch. Now, because we are a fully web-based hosted solution, anytime a client does go live, we provide those unique URLs to Rackspace so that they can monitor and track all the traffic going across those URLs. So anything outside of the US, especially Eastern Europe, they have full authority to shut it down and block it. To date, we have had 0 intrusions on our product. We recently, in 2018, rolled into Rackspace's Managed Security Division, which you'll see in there, it says RMS. Traditionally, the approach to cybersecurity is block the people from continuing to get in once they've gotten in. But the problem is once they're in, they're in. They got the data that they wanted. What this new division of Rackspace has done is most Fortune 500 companies that are with Rackspace are part of this division. And what they've done is they kind of replicated what their client's system would look like, and then they start baiting the hackers. They leave doors open here and there so that the hackers can come in and they can be like, all right, this is where you may have some vulnerability, so in the future, they won't be able to get in that door because we already tested for it. So this is a new division that we're rolled into, mainly because our clients are trusting us with all the data that they're giving us, whether it's social security numbers, name, address, bank account information, all that stuff resides in our system. So we invest very, very heavily and always are up to date with the most important releases that Rackspace has, just because of our clients and understanding that you guys have a job to do. Well, it's our responsibility to make sure that you can do that job day in and day out. So before I kind of introduce Chris, who's our Chief Technology Officer and our President that will be on the phone as well, are there any kind of immediate questions for me? Or I know I kind of breezed through some of that, but anything at all?
There's a school of thought that if you have people out installing, that they shouldn't also be the people that are supporting. But your argument the other way makes sense to me.
And the thing is, in our contracts, we have response times.
Okay.
So if you submit a question to us and we don't respond for days, well, that's our problem.
Because you're out installing somewhere else.
So our development team is never not going to respond. We have to respond to you. So we've never had a client complain to us, well, your development team is also our support team. Well, we've never, in the 10 plus years we've been in business, had one client ever complain about that. They like the fact that they know they could talk to Holly day one through day 10 years down the road. So it's a very key differentiator between any of our competitors.
That's good.
Hey Chris, are you there?
Yes, I am.
So I just kind of did a brief overview of kind of our solution and our company. John, are you on the phone as well?
Yes, I am.
So we have Chris Wallace.
Hello.
Hi.
That's John, our president. And we also have Chris Wallace, who's going to be driving the demo for us today. Again, today we want you to understand the main point of today's demo is we want you to have a representation, and the demo that you're going to be seeing today is representative. Unfortunately, with the York system, we can't scramble the data yet in order to show you. We're not going to show you live people's data. So the system that we're showing you today is pretty much representative of what they're getting. But obviously, all fake data today. So Chris is going to go ahead and drive you and show you some of the main features of our system. And then obviously, if you have any questions or anything like that, please don't hesitate to speak up and or ask. So Chris, I'm going to hand it over to you in a couple of seconds here.
And this will be 30,000 or higher?
Yeah, we'll keep it 50,000 if we can make it a little bit easier for you. Can you guys see it? Let me see. See if I can make this full screen here. All right, Chris, it's in your hands.
The bottom.
Okay, so this is the Pensions Pro. It's, as Kevin said, it's meant to be representative. So if you see things here that don't have applications to the way you administer your plans, don't be alarmed. That's what we do when we configure for the client. We will customize deals and reports so that they better fit to your administrative needs.
Chris, can you maximize your screen for me? There you go.
Yep.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, Chris, I could see it. Sorry, there's just a little delay.
Okay, so let's just go and look at some of the different capabilities of the system. So this is a basic screen. We can tab this data to better organize the fields up in the screen. We have hover text icons here for the audit trail and data comments. So we can click on the A here and see how the data has been changing, who changed it and when. We also have data comments, so if there's something about the data that you want to comment on, or maybe there was a payroll interface that changed some data, we'll write to the comments section of the application.
Can that get
The
clearer?
icon bar up here is consistent across all of the screens, so once you've learned it for one screen, you've learned it for all. If you hover over it, it's going to tell you what it'll do. Save, new, delete, print screen. Every screen has a built-in print screen, which just takes the data that's on the screen plus the banner at the bottom and drops it into a report. This here is the notes icon, so if there's something about that member, maybe they called something that you want to record, there's a notes section that lets you just enter free-form text about the member. The pencil's red and standing up so you know that there is notes information. If there wasn't, it would be flat. This is the audit trail as well, and this audit trail here...
There's two full audit trails in the system. You would have access to the audit trail, but we have a full audit trail on our servers that, so if there's someone in the office doing something that they shouldn't be, we have access to it that they don't have access to.
You can go to other screens from here as well. You can go to beneficiary screen and see what changes have been made there. There's also an audit report that lets you play through this change data every which way to Sunday. If I start making changes, the fields will turn yellow. They indicate they need to be saved. This icon here is a retreat icon. So if I click on that, it'll put me back to the way I was before I started making any changes. Maybe the phone rings and you lost track of what you were up to. As you would expect, there's help, and the help will be configured to your plan provisions. This icon right here is a scanned documents icon. So this is a very powerful dialogue that we're showing right here. So the system can...
So while he's pulling up some information, this is also our disaster recovery and business continuity module, which is no additional. This is all included in the annual maintenance fees. This allows you to scan all of your members' records directly into the system. So if you ever were to have a fire or a flood or the building wasn't here anymore, you could not only have all your pension data, but you have all your documents for all your members right into the system. So if you couldn't get into work that day, you could access the system, pull up all your members' documents, and have them all readily available to you.
Scan it, and a workflow will ensue that walks the administrator through the process. Archive documents is where any document that's created by the application. So if you're doing a calculation and it creates a worksheet, you can archive that. If you run a report or you create a retirement letter, those can be archived and attached to the member. And it's just a permanent record of a report or a letter that will be there years from now. So for example, if you did a calc on somebody and you put them into payment, you can archive the worksheet, and 7 years later, if there's a question about the benefits, you'll have the worksheet. Here is a refund. There's that same refund. This is the PDF that the system created before the member signed it and sent it back in. So the archive is a pretty powerful capability. Note that you can upload to the archive, so if you create a
We also have
document
DocuSign
outside of the
integration.
system.
So depending on how you capture your membership's information, if you wanted to get away from having filling out paper, we do have DocuSign integration where you can send your new hires their new enrollment form or beneficiary form. They can pull up a DocuSign at their house, fill it all out, and then now, as he mentioned, would create a workflow in the system where then obviously have to be reviewed by the retirement office first before it gets posted to the system, but at least it cuts out the paper and obviously it's a little bit more secure that way.
Hello, Angela Bennett from the General National Retirement.
Here are some notes that we captured earlier. We kind of covered that. And then the employee self-service, there's a member portal. There is a mechanism where the member can communicate with the administrator on the portal, and the administrator can communicate back, and that's what this is here. This is the capture of that, those messages that have gone back and forth. So that's our document management capability. As I mentioned earlier, there is some interesting IVR integration, so we have tied our application to integrated voice response, and we're just going to cover that very quickly. Here I'm going to dial into the system.
The last 4 digits of your social
So when your
security
employees and retirees are accessing our employee self-service portal, part of the registration process to prevent some Joe Schmo coming off the street and trying to register, he's demoing it right now. It would automatically dial their number that's online and then call the retirement PA. Is this actually the person that's on there? To prevent someone from accidentally getting into the system and registering for an account. That's just, and then it all gets recorded, so he's
So
done.
there is the call coming in, right? So we'll answer that. Hello, this is Chris Wallace. I'm looking for my benefit statement on the web. I thought it would be there by now. Can somebody get hold of me either with an email or a phone call as to what the status is on that? Thank you. Now notice when that call came in, this little dialogue right here popped. This allows the administrator, they don't have to go hunting for the person that called in. They can just click on this little IVR dialogue.
Unfortunately, sometimes you have a spouse, a child that might be trying to gain information that they shouldn't have access to. This process helps with that because now that call comes in. Hey, John, did you call? No, I didn't call about this. Who's calling for me?
So here's an example of capturing the conversation of the member. Hello, this is Chris Wallace.
And all that voicemail, that entire voice gets recorded in the system.
Can
So,
everybody hear that?
Yep.
yeah, we could hear it, Chris.
Okay, so we got some pretty cool IVR integration. We got some really cool document management. We can integrate with a scanner. We can integrate with a third-party scanning software. So there's some pretty cool.
And we have Outlook integration and Word integration as well. So if you're communicating with your members, any email address that's on file in the system, any email that you send to them or they send to you gets put under that document scanning management as well. So you can record all those emails as well.
Just get a feel for things. Here is an additional screen, and it's additional information. Here's a contact screen, a beneficiary screen, and again, this is tabs to organize the data a little bit better. The beneficiary screen is an example of a multi-record screen. So down here we have all the records that belong to
The system can accommodate multiple beneficiaries, any dependents or anything like that. The system can accommodate multiple beneficiaries as well.
Similar multi-record or a history.
The other unique thing about our data is that it's all one database. So when you go from active to retired, you don't purge any data. It all stays within the system. Every employee has one record, but they can have different status events. So someone might go hired to terminated to hired again if they came back 3 years later. You don't have to create a new record. It keeps all of their data all in the same system. All it will show is their breaks in service, their different status events. Everything is for one individual. A lot of our competitors, some of our competitors have two different databases. When you go from active to retired, it purges the data out of the active database, and now you have to access the retiree database. All of ours is within one, it all integrates together.
There's some pretty cool reporting capability. One of the ways that we can report on data is we can do so through our advanced search. So we can search for participants every which way to Sunday. And we can type in a partial name, partial first name, and search for them that way, and there's the people that we found. Or we can, the system remembers the last 100 people and puts those in a drop down. That's what's going on here. We can also use the advanced search, and we'll look at that in a second as soon as the screen loads. Go back to our basic screen. Advanced search is a cool little reporting tool that lets you punch in a bunch of different filters. I'm just going to take the ones that I remember from my last time.
And part of our discovery phase is we're going to ask you what letters and what reports do you run on a frequent basis. A lot of our clients have asked us for the same reports, so we hard code those reports into the system. But during the discovery phase, we'll ask you, what are the letters that you use, that you send out all the time? What are the reports that you run? We'll hard code those reports into the system. If there's any reports or anything that you need in the future, there's no additional cost for that. Just send us an email, we'll run the report for you. The only time additional costs come in are if, say, Act 96 goes to Act 97. Then we would blanket that across all of our clients because it affects everyone. But say, for example, you weren't doing payroll with us, and then you wanted to do payroll with us, obviously there's a cost for that. But small changes, modifications, you're never going to get an additional fee from us. Your maintenance fee is your maintenance fee. It includes all your hosting, your maintenance, your support, everything.
We'll go ahead and just won't archive it. But there's a calculation worksheet. Now, of course, this would be customized to the particulars of your needs, right? But it's basically, the worksheet is all about walking the knowledgeable administrator through the particulars of the pension calculation and allowing them to be comfortable that the right things are happening with the calculation. The service is correct, the earnings are correct, and the benefit formula ties out. Okay, so any questions so far? I've been moving pretty quickly, but let's come up for air.
Yes,
See,
I have a question.
Any questions.
Yeah, Chris, we do have a question.
On your member basic information, I see a complete social security number. On other documents that popped up, there were X's for the first 5 numbers and then just the last 4 digits.
So on the basic information screen, that's obviously only something that the office would see themselves. So they would need to see that full number. But anytime you were to print out a report or run an estimate, there is the ability to either show it all, suppress the entire social, or just show the last 4. So that you do have those options when you're printing documents from the system. But within the system, we assume that whoever is accessing that system is the administrator from that office, so chances are they will need to see that full social. But anytime anything is printed from the system, you have the ability to...
They can block the birth date and social security number.
We can suppress anything that you would want us to suppress, yes. And you could either have the option to show it, suppress it all, show the last 4, whatever the option is that you wanted to on printing that document from the system.
And do you put out yearly reports?
Like the member's annual statement? Yep, we do that for all of our clients. Yeah, and that's, again, those are kind of the things that we would identify during the discovery phase. Our member's annual statement is pretty standard for most retirement systems, but if there were any additional special reports that you send out to your members or your retirees, we would obviously want to get those documents or examples of those reports prior to doing the development so we can incorporate that into the system. But yeah, members' annual statements are pretty general for everyone. Any other questions, or don't hesitate to ask, please. All right, Chris, you want to pull up and show the payroll? Is that what you were getting into?
Sure, we can go there. So here I'll select a retiree.
So this is our retiree pension payroll system in 1099s. Most of our clients use our system to cut the pension checks as well as issue the 1099s. Some of our clients don't. They either have a payroll system that they use for years that they can continue to use. We have always specialized in pension software. We haven't really had the opportunity or wanted to get into ERP systems or payroll, because we do this better than anyone else. And we would rather allow our clients to choose whoever they want for ERP, whoever they want for payroll, and we can integrate whoever with whoever you want. So that we can specialize in your pension system and make sure that as you're continuing to grow, we can specialize in this. So all of our clients that used to have other competitors, they feel that they've gotten too big and they don't get the level of support that they used to anymore. We have always specialized in pension software, and that's what we want to do.
And then this dollar percentage is what ties back to these different options. And the same principle applies at the state level as well. So these are the tax elections that have been set up.
So a bid from you and a bid from somebody that includes the pension software would be not comparable.
Where the rubber hits the road.
Say that again?
If you don't include the pension software, then a bid from you and a bid from another company that does include it would not be comparable.
No, because they don't necessarily have all the features that we would have from a full-blown pension system. They may have an ERP that has a flavor of pension administration, but it's not all the features that we have to do. I mean, this is from the time that you start employment to the time that you retire and beyond. This will track and do everything that you need to do, integrate with your ERP system, integrate with any other municipal software that the county uses, we can integrate with. We've never had an issue integrating with any other municipal software package.
So there's very, very good support for whatever deductions are going to come out of that member's paycheck, and that's what's happening on the payment deduction screen. The payment register...
We've actually had competitors stop selling their pension module because of us, and they actually recommend us now because they still provide municipal payroll, they still provide an ERP system, but they no longer have a pension module, so they've come to us and say, hey, well, we know some people that are looking for pension, we'll recommend you, because we integrate with them all the time. A lot of our clients do that.
Are there any that you don't integrate with?
No. I mean, if there's it might take a little longer if there's some guy at his house having his own municipal shop, we'll integrate with him, but we've never had an issue.
1099 is a big part of the processing that takes place on an annual basis, and we have full support for 1099, whatever 1099 forms you may have for a regular. Down here in the system screen, we have some more support for some of the payroll processing that takes place. Here are all the different deductions that can be set up, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of deductions in this demo system. Tax tables.
Similar to the deductions, same thing with contributions. So every week or bi-weekly, whatever the frequency is that your members, your active employees are paid, you could download a text file from whatever system you're using, upload all those contributions, and it would update it for every single person, whatever the frequency is that you have. So you have all your contributions here right in the system. All of our clients do that as well. So there are no limitations on that either.
The member has deductions taken out, typically for health and life insurance, and the system will cut checks to the vendors as well. So the vendor component of the payroll system is a big part of it. Here are all the vendors that are set up in the system, and these will tie back to the deductions. Any life insurance deduction code or health deduction code is going to result in a payment to a vendor. So when the payroll is run, we'll understand everybody that had an Aetna deduction, and we'll roll that up and cut a check to Aetna for all the different members that subscribe to that benefit. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, Chris.
If we go to our archive, we can look at some of the reports that the system created. And so here is the 1099 report. And this is actually what gets laid down right on top of a 1099 form. So you put your forms in the printer and print this file, and then they line up with the boxes that are on the 1099. Here's that same information in an Excel format, so you can give that to accounting, do whatever you need with it, but there's there's our 1099 information extracted to Excel. Here's a payroll comparison report. Bear with me. So this is all about looking at the payroll that you're running versus the payroll that you last run, and it lets you understand what's changed. So we had some new payments show up here. We had some people that stopped being paid, and then we had some people who continued to be paid, but something changed in their check. So this is a real handy report to let you get you comfortable that the payroll you're about to run is, makes sense. There's nothing egregiously wrong with it. Here's another comparison report. Same data in Excel, right?
As you may have noticed, you could export anything into PDF, Excel, or Word. So
Here's
What is your
notice of
base
deposit. So when we,
software? Is it
cut the
like
payroll,
Infinium
there,
or Access
most of
or?
the people are going to get paid.
So, like the actual the base of the system, it's XML based. I'll have Chris explain that for you as well.
We generate a notice of deposit for them, and that gets laid down. You put your forms in the printer, and then you print this report. So bear with me while this loads. This is a big one. 2,000 pages of information here. Now, with the checks and with the notice of deposit, we can print on stock, or we can print on white paper and lay down on the notice of deposit or check all of the information that needs to go on. So that's the implementation detail. Can everybody see that?
Yes, we can, Chris.
Here's the vendor payment report. This is Excel. So these are, here are all the different deductions that have come out of the various checks to the membership, and it just rolls up. So for the health vendor, here are all the different employees that had a deduction. Here's the amount. And then we can take the same information as a PDF too. So there's the one health vendor, and all the different employees that had a deduction for that vendor, right? So forth and so on. There's AARP and yada yada yada. 282 pages of that. Here are the checks, the actual checks to the vendors. Right? AARP. Okay, so
Chris, we
that is the whirlwind tour of the payroll.
Chris, we had a question. Can you just explain a little bit about the foundation of Pension Pro, the core, how it's built, what it's built on, and what it's made up of? We just had a couple of questions on that. If you could just kind of just explain the foundation of the system and what it's built on.
So are we looking for like a technical explanation? It's like written in Java,
Just the
using
names of it.
MySQL database sort of thing, or something else?
Yes, but very high level, just kind of the foundations of it.
So the application is hosted in Rackspace. Rackspace is the premier provider of hosting services, an extremely secure facility. In fact, they have facilities all over the world. We have two of their facilities, Fort Worth and Chicago, I believe.
Yep.
And we trade data back and forth between those every 4 hours for DR purposes. The security of that hosting environment, we're running in their managed security division, which is like the highest security that's available from their hosting perspective. The application itself, the MySQL database, the data within
MySQL.
MySQL is encrypted. It's a Java-based application. What else can I tell people?
So
MySQL?
it's MySQL, yep. And there is Java integration, so when you are scanning your documents, or you can edit the documents in the system, it uses a Java plugin so that it can edit those documents and play around with them per
If
se.
I have the Excel
Well,
spreadsheet up, the
we
most
offer
number
the Java
of,
plugin. So
Sorry.
when you scan something, we're using HTML5. So we're keeping abreast of as the security landscape changes. We are keeping abreast with it. Java at the desktop is come and gone, and we don't use that any longer.
Okay. Well, we had one. What
But
were
it's
you
a
asking?
it's a browser-based application. You access the application. We give you a URL. You get into Internet Explorer or Chrome or Firefox or whatever, and you access the application at Rackspace. Is that helping people understand how this thing works?
Yes, but there was one more follow-up.
in Excel, if I open up a spreadsheet, I can enter 60,000 unique lines. Is there a limit to the number of records or lines you can have in SQL?
No, because when you're exporting the data into Excel, it's exporting whatever you're telling the system to export. So if you're exporting a payroll and there's 50 people on the payroll, it's only going to show you those 50 people on that Excel sheet. If there's 1,000, it'll show 1,000. It's whatever we have within the database. There is no limitation on what you're exporting. Is that?
Well, the limitation is whatever Excel's limitation is, and I don't recall what it. how many
60,000,
records Excel
but
tops
your
out
base,
at,
does
but
it
it's
hold
a big,
more?
big number. And
Like the base of the system?
The SQL.
We're using, the 64-bit version of Excel, or
So,
should be.
Chris, the question was if the system can accommodate more than 60,000 lines within Excel. Or
Yeah.
I
So we're not exporting the
It's okay.
XLS.
We're not communicating, it's okay.
That helps.
what's the is there a limit on the SQL?
No. MySQL is, no. I mean, we have hundreds of millions of records in the MySQL database. It's quite robust.
So, it's important to note that we have several state systems utilizing the same application that Chris has demonstrated, which is the same, application that we were proposing to Lebanon County. So, so this is not just we're not proposing a stripped down version of the application to Lebanon County. It'd be the same application that's running at the state of Georgia, state of Oklahoma, it's Louisiana pension funds. So it's very scalable and can accommodate, tens of thousands of participants throughout the students.
We have about 80 boards in Massachusetts on this system with over 250,000 members. We'll be able to handle Lebanon data volume without breaking the sweat. Okay, so what else about payroll? I feel like I kind of went through everything very quickly, but is there some more questions that you have about that?
Do the experts have any questions?
Are there any specific questions? I mean, we could always do a follow-up at some point, but I mean, again, we wanted to just give you an overall overview of the system. I mean, we could be here all month, all year, going through this entire system. Yep.
Kevin, how about ESS? Do they want to see you.
Did you want to see what the employee self-service portal looks like? So when your members and retirees are logging in online, the type of information, generally speaking, what they would be able to see. This is what our employee self-service portal would look like, and we can kind of just give you a quick flavor of what that would look like as well. Yeah, Chris, go ahead, just kind of show them briefly what it looks like and kind of some of the key features. One thing to note as well is while he's kind of logging into this, all the data that's within the employee self-service portal is fed by Pension Pro. So as soon as contributions are updated, payrolls run, updated information, the employee self-service portal is updated real time. So there is no lag on kind of when your employees access the information, how accurate is the data that's in there? Well, it's fed real time from Pension Pro, so there is no lag.
And we don't have to do that two-factor authentication. Some clients want it, some clients feel like it's going to be too much for their membership, so that's up to you guys. We recommend it, it's nice to have, it's more secure. When you log in...
Can you maximize the screen, Chris?
Sorry?
Can you maximize the screen for us, please?
So when you log in, I logged in as an administrator, so I get this switch user, and this will let me switch to a different person. So if you're on the phone with somebody, you can become them. Ordinary membership would not have this switch user capability.
So this allows you to see exactly what your member and or retiree is looking at home. So if they have a question, I'm on my data screen, I don't know what this is, well, you can pull them up and look at exactly what they're looking at right in front of them. You're not looking at the administration system, you're looking at what they're looking at.
Just as the administrator interface is meant to be representative, this is close to what you guys would take possession of, but we will customize it to your needs. Having said that, it's going to look something like this. So here is a data page. Here is, we'll present all the different elements of data that are germane to their pension benefit. They can get that as a report by clicking on the download button.
Another key feature for this is we have the ability to print out income verification forms. So if you have retirees that are trying to refinance their home, apply for a loan, or maybe need fuel assistance, we'll capture the county's letterhead, the authorizing signature, embed it into the site so they can download that form maybe without having to come into the office and obtain that document. We can produce that right out of the system here for them.
Back and forth without using email, so you got to permanently record it and attach to the member. So there's our data page. Here's a contact page. And this is an example of a page where they can update the data. You may not want them to update it.
The site is editable, so if you wanted your members and retirees to update their contact information, they can update it here, hit update data. It would send an email both to that member and the retirement board, and it would update the core system with that new information. If you wanted to suppress any edit capability, we could do that.
So
We
that
would just
way you
need you to
would,
provide us a change of address form that they could embed in the site, they download it, fill it out and snail mail it or scan it and email it. We could do that as well. That's what most of our clients do. Same thing with the beneficiary information. Just provide us that beneficiary form and we could integrate it into the site as well. But we could suppress any edit capability and just make it view only.
And of course, this form, this is a pretty generic form, but whatever forms you guys have, we can make available on the employee self-service site. Here's an example of an estimate page. Now, the estimate allows them to model their retirement benefit. This will have a wizard that walks them through the various inputs, and of course these inputs would depend on what it is that you want them to be able to model, so this is something that's customized. But notice how it highlights in yellow the field that needs to be entered, and then gives a very detailed explanation here of what that field is, so you can just click through the various inputs and then do the calc. And then we can tee up the results in an income replacement chart. you will. It's really how do you want to present the results back to the member. And I can get that, of course, as a report, so I can download that as a PDF.
And as you can see, there's a watermark across it letting them know that this is an estimate only. This isn't their actual pension benefit. But because we're pulling all the data from the core application, these figures are going to be pretty spot on because we're pulling it all from the database as if they were to just come into the retirement office and run an estimate anyway. It's not meant to replace, it's meant to be a supplemental benefit to them, to help them better plan for their retirement.
And then when I come back later, maybe I come back a month later or whatever, we'll have that, see here, we got it saves the calculation results, and then I can just come back to what I modeled 3 months ago or whatever. We can allow them to initiate a refund process online. We can allow them to initiate retirement processes online. This demo
Chris.
here is a DocuSign demo. How we doing on time?
So
I was just going to ask if anybody else had any.
yeah.
Go ahead, Stephen.
Does anybody have questions about anything kind of specific? I know we covered a lot, and we just kind of wanted to give you a flavor of the employee self-service. But are there any questions about anything? Whether it's application, security, foundation of the application, or kind of our implementation process. Like I said, I mean, the team that is kind of behind all the brains and the wizards of this implementation, I mean, those are the same people that you'll have to rely on and that will help you through this entire process. But our application is meant to grow as you grow. You're never going to get to a point where Pension Pro has hit its limit. It's limitless. So we want to be able to work with you day in, day out. So if there are things that are coming down the pipeline that you are aware of, let us know, because that might be something that is beneficial to you that also might be beneficial to other clients as well, and vice versa. So we're constantly engaged with our clients to understand the pain points, the needs, and kind of how you guys want to grow as a system. So there's no limit to Pension Pro. It can do whatever it is that you need it to do.
Okay, going once.
I think we're all good for questions, Chris. I appreciate it. I'll if anything does pop up, I'll send you a note. But I think we're all good.
Anybody want to look at any ad hoc reporting or anything else?
No, I think we're good.
All right.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to sign off. Thank you all.
Thank you, John.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, so I mean, then that's Pension Pro itself. I mean, we tried to get York's data scrambled for you, but we didn't want to rush it and give you live people's data. So, but again, the system that you saw today is meant to be representative of what we have to offer, and so, I mean, just to kind of give you a quick, view. So, as you see, this is the employee retirement system of Baltimore. So as I showed you, or as Chris showed you in the demo, this is the city of Baltimore. This is the city of Manchester, New Hampshire. Every single one of our clients is going to get a basic information screen. Everyone's going to get a beneficiary screen, but not everyone tracks the same information. So the reason why I'm showing you this is because we are tailorable. If there's data that you need added to the system, we'll add it for you. There's not going to be a cost for that. We're not going to force you into a box. We're going to build our system around the data that you have, and we're not going to force you into a box. A lot of our other competitors say, this is the box. If your data doesn't fit in the box, well, sorry. That's not how we approach it, because we understand that not everyone uses the same system. Some are using older software, some are using new software. So it allows us to be more tailorable to fit your needs. So yeah, I mean, unless there's any questions for me, I mean, it always happens where you think of something after I leave. But
well, I guess I do have one.
yeah.
I heard you say that you've had no breaches,
Mhm.
but neither did Experian or the Democratic National Committee or Wells Fargo or Redbox or any of the other ones that have been hacked into. You said you have a continuity of operations plan. How does that affect us if something does happen?
As far as a data breach goes. So within our contracts, there are stipulations of basically our response time on how we have to respond to you. I want to say it's less than 24 hours that we have to alert you of a data breach. It might even be sooner. I mean, we get penetration tested every single day. And there's people all the time trying to get into the system, and Rackspace knows it. They see where these URL. It's very odd where a lot of times where these people are trying to hack into the system, it's in a little strip mall in the Midwest somewhere. Why? I don't know. But we know exactly where they're coming from. And to your point, as far as data breaches, I mean, the level of security that we have in the system that's being monitored by Rackspace is I would be highly shocked if there was anything that were to ever come through. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, it's the lack of kind of knowledge sometimes on kind of what to prevent. So if you're getting an email from John Smith every day, he's your supervisor, but you then get an email from John E. Smith, you're going to know, oh, that's from John Smith. And then you're going to click on it, and then that's usually where a lot of the penetrations come in, and that's where you get a lot of your data breaches. When it comes to our system, all of our clients are independent of each other. So not everyone accesses the system from one URL. Everyone is separate. Everyone has their own URL. So there's no way from if they get into one client, they can now get into Lebanon. It's impossible. That's why we set up our system that way. It's segmented. So everyone has their own database. Everyone has their own URL to further add layers behind the security.
Okay.
And the good thing about like I was saying about the disaster recovery plan is that if you don't have one in place now for your documents or anything like that, our system now then becomes part of your disaster recovery plan and business continuity plan, because we do daily backups every single day. So every day that you're in the system, you're making changes. We back up the system every night, but then we also do a full system backup every single week. Iron Mountain manages our backups, but again, if you were to come into the office and you made a big error and you screwed up a bunch of stuff, we could rewind you 4 hours, or we could rewind you back to the next day. So I mean, there's a lot of multi-layered kind of procedures that we have within our system to accommodate whatever it is that you need us to do.
All right, thank you.
No, my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.